They promised her to a king before she could speak her first full sentence. Gold was prepared. Drums were reserved. A throne waited. But her heart chose a poor fisher boy, a boy with torn nets and empty hands. Her father banished him. The village said he was dead, and on the day she was forced to marry the king, the fisher boy returned. Not with fish, not with gold, but with the truth that would shake the entire village. There was once a village where the river met the sea. The people called it Kambalas. At dawn, fishermen pushed their wooden canoes into the water, while women sang old songs to wake the sun. At night, the river reflected the stars so clearly that elders said the ancestors used it as a mirror. In this village lived a girl named Zalika. She was the only daughter of Chief Mabuto, the most powerful chief along the Riverlands, a man whose word could stop wars and start them. Zalika was not loud in beauty. Her grace was quiet. Her eyes carried questions even when her lips remained silent. From the day she was born, the elders whispered, "This child will not belong to herself." When Zalika was still a child, her father made a promise. It happened beneath the great baobab tree, where no lie survives and no promise dies. The ruler of the highlands, King Obayo, had sent his messengers. He did not ask for Zalika's hand because he loved her. He asked because alliances make kings stronger than armies. Chief Mabuto agreed. Palm wine was poured. Kola nuts were broken. Witnesses nodded. And Zalika's future was sealed, long before she could understand the meaning of choice. By the river lived a young man named Tawari. The river had raised him. The river had tested him. His parents were taken by the water during a storm that spared no one. Since then, Tawari lived by the river's mercy. He owned no land, no cattle, no name that echoed in council meetings. Only a small canoe, a torn fishing net, and hands shaped by patience. Every morning, Tawari greeted the river as one greets an elder. "Today we work together," he would say. And somehow, the river always answered. Zalika first saw Tawari on a morning when the mist lay heavy on the water. She had come alone, barefoot, carrying a calabash to fetch water, away from guards, away from expectations. She noticed the way Tawari handled his net, gently, respectfully, as if the fish were borrowed, not stolen. When their eyes met, neither spoke. But something ancient stirred. Not desire. Recognition. From that day they met often. Always by chance. Always by the river. Tawari offered her the largest fish. Zalika brought him roasted maize wrapped in leaves. They spoke of small things. The moods of the river. The cries of birds. Dreams whispered only to the water. Slowly, love found them. Not the loud love of songs and dances, but the deep love that grows quietly, like roots beneath the earth. Zalika never told Tawari about the promise to the king. And Tawari never asked why the chief's daughter shared laughter with a poor fisher boy. They lived in the moment. And moments, when protected too long, become dangerous. The village began to notice. Women fetching water whispered. Children followed them. Even the drums began to beat. One evening, Chief Mabuto saw Zalika return home late, her feet wet with river mud. He asked no questions. He sent for Tawari. Tawari stood before the chief, unchained, unarmed, but surrounded by silence. Chief Mabuto studied him like a storm studies a fragile roof. "You dare lift your eyes to my daughter?" the chief asked. Tawari knelt. "I did not lift my eyes," he said calmly. "My heart did." The chief rose. "You have nothing," Mabuto thundered. "No land, no cattle, no future." Tawari lifted his head. "I have love." That was his greatest mistake. That very night, the chief made his decision. Tawari was banished from Kambala. If he returned, he would be killed. Before dawn, soldiers dragged him to the forest's edge. Zulika ran to the river, screaming his name. But the river answered only with waves. Days later, Chief Mabuto addressed the village. "The fisher boy is dead," he declared. "The river claimed him." Zulika collapsed. Her tears fell into the dust, and even the earth mourned. Months passed. Drums thundered across Kumbala. King Obayo arrived with warriors, gold, and wives adorned in silk. Zulika was dressed in beads and clothed the color of sunrise. But her eyes were empty. As the wedding drums reached their peak, a voice cut through the crowd. "Stop!" A man stepped forward. Scarred. Stronger. Dressed not as a fisherman, but as a trader. It was Tawari. The village gasped. The dead had returned. Tawari spoke of exile, of lies, of love stronger than power. King Obayo listened. Then he laughed softly. "I do not marry prisoners," the king said. "I marry women who choose." He turned to Zulika. Her voice trembled, but it did not break. "I choose the man the river spared." Chief Mabuto fell to his knees. Pride finally crushed. Zulika and Tawari left Kambala and built a life by the water. And the river, which had taken so much, finally gave back.